Chris Jones. I'm not going to lie, man. I love Chris. I've been watching Chris for a very long time. And going back to the Physiques of Greatness days, when Chris was barely scraping by as a personal trainer at 24 Hour Fitness, driving around with a spare tire and drinking Walmart protein. I have followed him from that part of his life to the person he is now. And who he is now is a very established person in the fitness industry and a multi-millionaire. Okay. And he worked his butt off through this entire journey. He has talked about what it took for him to get there. You know, the days where he had so many personal training inquiries and money coming in that he would have to basically sit down and grind for days at a time just to get through all of the business that was coming in. And when you come from a background of not having much, you're very hungry, you know, compared to the kids that grew up having it all. And Chris Jones is a very hungry person, and that is a big reason of why he became the success that he is today. Along with other things too. The dude's very charismatic. He's got a great personality. He's funny, great sense of humor. There's a lot of likable things about Chris, and he is a very caring dude too. You know, back to the days where his partner Vince was collecting six figures and was not putting any more work into the business. You know, Chris was cutting him over $10,000 a month or close to that, just because Vince was the guy that came up with the idea of YouTube and got Chris started. Until finally he came to his senses and says, look, I'm not letting this leech, piggyback off my hard work. So he created Pump Chasers, and now Chris is the man and has been the man for a long time. Chris is experiencing what a lot of people that become rich and famous experience. He's experiencing the materialism that comes with becoming rich and famous, okay? What you have is a lot of evils that come into your life when you become rich, okay? When you become popular, when you become an icon. I mean, just imagine the amount of women, Instagram models, which to me is a joke, but just imagine all the Instagram models, the fitness chicks, all these people that are in his inbox and trying to get a hold of Chris and basically ride his fame and get involved with his fortune. That's just what happens when you get rich. People see you as a big $100 bill and they want to have a piece of it. That's why you see these old nasty men that are rich with these very good looking young women. Donald Trump. So I think mistake number one when it comes to Chris, okay, where he went wrong. And I'm not here to be overly critical of Chris. I'm just trying to educate people on what not to do to be tested by these evils of committing infidelity, cheating on your partner and breaking up your family. Once he really started making a name for himself, I noticed that Chris started to drink. He started to drink nightly. I don't know how long this went on. I don't know if this became a regular occurrence. And he also started, going out with lots of people in the fitness industry and clubbing. So a lot of people might say, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with getting drunk. Let the guy club, da 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 da. Okay, a normal person A non-famous person typically does not go to a club in a serious relationship. It's for single people. And I'm not criticizing Chris for doing this, but again, imagine the temptation. Imagine the people showing up that know where he is. Imagine all the people that were constantly trying to ruin what Chris has. Combine that with drinking. Now, drinking is probably the worst thing that you can do if you're wanting to keep a level mind, if you're wanting to keep your family together, and you're wanting to stay on the straight and narrow as far as not getting mixed up into the evils of life. I mean, just imagine being Chris Jones after 4 or 5 mixed drinks, sitting on his couch. Denise is next to him chilling, and he's got girls coming in on Instagram, asking him to hang out, and probably getting his phone number. And I can only imagine the temptation that this guy's exposed to on a daily basis. I can only imagine. Okay, so drinking is probably the worst thing. No, it's not probably. Drinking is the worst thing that you can do, when you're trying to be a family man and you're trying to stay on the straight and narrow as a famous, rich, established person. There are certain things that you can ingest, like mushrooms, and what those things do is they take the blinders off, and you're able to actually notice things that you've never noticed before. You're able to see things that you never saw before. They destroy the blinders. What alcohol does is it keeps the blinders up, and then it welds them into place. More walls are being built, outside of the ones that people already have when they're sober. So it's easily to become very one-sided and not do the right thing when you're drinking. Now, Chris is doing the right thing. He is showing a lot of remorse for what he did, and he is fighting for his family. He has a newborn. Maybe they're not considered a newborn anymore, but he has a baby, and he wants nothing more than to be a family man and raise his child and not have another man raising his child, which I don't blame him. I could not handle another man raising my child either. So basically, Denise came out and she said, or not directly said, but she has shown that she is willing to work things out with Chris. She wants the family to stay together for the kids, and she wants to raise her child with the father, which is a very positive thing. Broken families, they affect children, okay? I'm not saying if you're in a toxic relationship with somebody that you should stay in it for the children. If you're screaming and fighting with somebody, you're going to mess your children up, okay? So don't do that, but I would assume that they don't have that type of relationship. They seem to have a very solid relationship, and they want to stay together, which is very good, very beneficial for the child. So how can you make this happen? Okay, because a lot of people are bashing him, saying, "Oh, he's going to cheat again. She's going to get him back and rake him over the coals." Life after infidelity can happen, but what's going to have to happen is, the way that Chris sees it right now is he is the one that has to put all the work in. He's the one that needs to do this, to do that, to focus more on Denise. Okay, but this is not going to work if Chris is the only one involved. Even though Denise is the victim and she has probably gone through a tremendous amount of pain because of this, she has a tremendous amount of work to do herself. And what I mean by that is, you cannot just say that, okay, I'm going to forgive you or work on forgiving you, and make this family happen and not actually forgive and get past. What a lot of people do that have been cheated on, that don't want to exit the relationship, they stay in the relationship and they make the other person's life miserable. They make them feel guilty on a daily basis. This is not the formula for success. If hypothetically Denise says that she is ready to move on, she's ready to forgive Chris, she is ready to build the strongest family possible, and she does not do this, she makes Chris's life a living hell, it is going to fail. Chris is going to look at the efforts that he is putting in to save this family, and he's going to give up, and it's likely going to be a thing of the past. He will likely cheat again, or he's just going to leave, because at the end of the day, you can't live in misery every day. You can't live with somebody that is going to create misery in your life on a daily basis. And I understand that cheating is a horrible thing. It causes a lot of pain for the victim. And the person that has been cheated on, it is 100% okay if they cannot forgive and they can't get over it. But at that point, you have to end the relationship, and you have to not try to make something work and make the other person suffer. You have to cut it off and create a good life for your child. That is the only way. Those are the only two options that you have when there is infidelity in a relationship. And unfortunately, most people do not take this approach. A lot of people do leave. And if you know that you can't handle knowing that this person cheated on you, there's no trust that could ever be developed again. That's when you have to leave. But Denise is saying she believes in Chris. She believes that Chris wants to really fight for this family and turn things around and do things the right way this time. And if Chris ever watches this, I believe in you. I think that Chris has seen the materialism and the typical evils that come with becoming rich and famous. And who knows how many girls that he slept with, but he realized there's nothing better than coming home to a loving family, to people that actually love you and not love you for your money and your fame. It doesn't matter how hot some chick is. Denise is somebody that has been with Chris since the beginning. She has been his ride or die. There is no other woman that could ever take Denise's place, regardless of their looks. I think Chris is a smart guy, and he realizes this, and he's going to do whatever it takes to save what he broke. And I have a lot of faith in Chris, and I wish nothing but Chris and Denise the best.